Hello, my name is Skip, and this is From the Fourth Row's end of the year review. And this is part one of a series of videos. And this week I'm going to talk about my favorite animated movie of the year and my favorite comedy of the year. Now, during my halfway review, I said that my favorite comedy of the year was Paul, where Nick Frost and Simon Pegg play some authors, and they go to a convention, and then when they're done the convention, they decide to go on a road trip visiting all the alien sightings around the Midwest and western part of the country. And when they're on the road, they end up getting in a car crash because a little green alien sighting. And they meet this alien, and he's voiced by Seth Rogen. Now, of course, the government's going to get involved when there's anything involving alien sightings or aliens. And the FBI agent in charge of finding what's going on is played by Jason Bateman. And he really lends some comic relief in this movie, as well as, the starring characters and Seth Rogen. These are really good comedy actors, but he does a really good job. Jason Bateman does, and we get little a few other characters. One played by Kristen Wiig, where she plays an evangelical, and they end up hanging around with her, and it's just good comedy, thought out, smartly done with people that know what they're doing with the material. And this is a third movie that Simon Pegg and Nick Frost have done together after Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz. Now, my second comedy that I think is actually the number one comedy of the year that I could not put on my list halfway through the year because it didn't come out yet is another one starring Jason Bateman, and that's Horrible Bosses. Now, this is a movie with some very good actors portraying roles that they normally don't do. Like Jennifer Aniston, she plays this dentist, and she's kind of got a raunchy feel to her, and her character that she works with, he doesn't really like the idea of her touching him and making these sexual innuendos. And then we got Jason Sudeikis, and his boss ends up dying, and then his son takes over, and his son is played by Colin Farrell. And now he really goes the next level to portray a nasty kind of a character. And then we have Jason Bateman's character, who we just mentioned in Paul, and his character, he has to deal with a boss that he doesn't really want to give him a promotion that he thinks he deserved, and his boss is played by Kevin Spacey, which a similar role over a few years ago that he portrayed a nasty boss was in Swimming with Sharks. But this is well done. The comedy's funny. The story's thought out. We have cameos by Jamie Foxx, and he's got a funny name that I'm not going to mention. I wanted to see more intelligent comedies like these, and I think of all the comedies that have come out this year, these are my two favorite. And if you haven't seen them, I urge you to go see them on DVD. Now I'm going to talk about my favorite animated movies of the year. Way back in March, if you don't remember, we had a nice little animated movie called Rango, and Rango's stars Johnny Depp, and he plays a little chameleon, and he ends up falling off the car, and his little bowl that he was living in ends up breaking, and he ends up traveling through a desert into a western town. Rango turns out it's a western, and there's a lot of western jargon, a lot of western storylines, and it's really a great movie. And the animation is by ILM, the studio owned by George Lucas, and I just absolutely cannot say enough or everything about Rango. The detail in this animation, it's like they're real, like they're right on the screen. You know, like some animation's hokey, but not Rango. And I loved Rango. My second favorite animated movie of the year is Arthur Christmas. What a wonderful, wonderful movie. And Arthur is portrayed by oh, all right, never mind about that. I can't remember his name right now. But Arthur Christmas is about, you know, a young man who has to take over for Santa Claus because Santa Claus ended up missing one present, and he has to go deliver this little bike to this little girl. And you see the technology over the years. You know, how does Santa Claus deliver all these presents? Well, he has to have a spaceship, and he has to have an army of elves, and I cannot say enough for Arthur Christmas. I think it's one of the best movies of the year and one of the best animated movies of the year. And I love the casting. You know, there's Hugh Laurie in it and Jim Broadbent. Um, you know, it's just such a good movie. And my third favorite animated movie of the year is The Adventures of Tintin, which I reviewed earlier. I cannot say enough for this motion capture technology that allows us to see these lands, water like it's right in front of you, in the desert like it's right there, like you're living in this desert. And the people that play the characters they're so alive, and they just jump right off the screen at you. And this is such a sweeping adventure, and I think it's a movie for all people of all ages and all walks of life. And I think anybody that likes good movies and likes a little bit of comedy along with a little bit of suspense and a little bit of action and adventure, you can't help but liking The Adventures of Tintin. And I think that, you know, this year there hasn't been a lot of great animated movies, but I would say these three stand out as the best animated movies of the year by far. And I wouldn't be surprised if one of the three, in my pick, I would have to say goes always back to March, and I still have to say Rango holds up as the best animated movie of the year. And this is Skip, and this is my first review of the best of the year list, and this is from the fourth row.